It's a beautiful fall day here in Middle Tennessee, and it's a big election day. And there has been so much churn on television. Oh my goodness. Negative, hateful campaigns, both sides, spewing all kinds of things that are really troubling and should be troubling to us as Christians. And yet we find ourselves getting caught up in the middle of all that stuff. I woke up in the wee hours of the night and the Lord gave me a word to teach today, and that's this: the wrong hate. Now that's not a more polarizing, strong word in the English language, especially today in our culture, than the word hate. And yet it's used biblically, Old Testament, New Testament. God used the word, Jesus used the word. But here's what I believe as Christians we can do with that word hate that will help change the world and bring our nation back to where we need to be, humble before the Lord, contrite, confessing our sin, beginning as Christians. Because what we need to hate first and worst is our own sin. I need to hate my own sin first and worst above everything else, get that confessed before the Lord, and then I can turn my attention to other things. I think you need to do the same thing. Pastor, elder, deacon, man, woman, husband, father, mother, anybody who claims to be a born-again biblical Christian needs to deal with this first. Let's look at the words of Christ. We know in two of the Gospels, when Jesus was asked, what's the greatest commandment? He gave the one from the Shema: you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind and strength. The second is like it: you shall love your neighbor as yourself. We're not doing that in this nation today. We're not doing it as Christians today. We're not doing it as a church today. And we need to stop and confess that and get it right so that we can be perceived as those who love. Biblical love, the way God loved, and it's not what people define love as today. That's a whole different set of lessons. But just to make sure that we love people, because Jesus told his disciples this. In John 13, after he had washed their feet, after he said that Judas was going to betray him, he went on to say that you shall love one another even as I have loved you, and then the world will know that you're my disciples when you love one another. Brothers and sisters, we need to do a better job of that. So I'm just going to end this by calling you out and asking you, like I've done, to confess that sin, your own sin, hate it worst and first, and then look at how we can take the love of God through Christ and appropriate it to the world, whether they want it or not. Because remember this, Jesus told his disciples, they hated me and they're going to hate you because of me. He loved his enemies. One of his last words on the cross was a prayer for those who were killing him. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. It's going to be really difficult to love people who not only don't love you back, but hate you and want to see everything that we stand for eroded and destroyed in our nation. God will honor a people who are broken and contrite, who confess their sin and come to him, pleading then for their nation and for the souls of those who hate us. That's where we need to be. It's a big challenge and it's hard to do, but we have the power of the Holy Spirit to help us do that. Otherwise, we're going to continue to be the grousing, grumbling, look like we just bit into a lemon Christians that the world really does hate. Think about that. I love you. God bless you.